Welcome to the Hudson Museum, home to the William P. Palmer III collection. This extraordinary collection features objects from pre-Columbian Mesoamerica that range from Olmec to Aztec. All of the objects in this collection were acquired prior to the UNESCO Convention of 1970 that prohibits the illegal import and export of cultural property. When you enter the museum, you're greeted by a large-scale Veracruz snake apron priestess dating around 600 to 900 AD. This figure from the Gulf Coast region of Mexico represents a highly developed ceramic tradition that featured the largest ceramic figures in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. This work is hollow and is reinforced so that it would not collapse as the clay hardened. It has numerous round openings or vents that allowed it to be fired without exploding. This piece represents a female deity and may have been associated with other figures as a grave offering. She wears a vampire bat mask and has two snakes wrapped around her torso and waist. Early collection images of her show a wavy dagger in her right hand and a trophy head incense burner in her left hand. The elaborate ear flares indicate elite status, and white and red pigments highlight details on her headdress, face, and torso. The images on this figure suggest that she is associated with human sacrifice in the underworld. This Maya stele has much to tell us about the Maya world. This monumental carved stone panel bears the image of a ruler warrior adorned with all the emblems of power: an elaborate headdress, ear spools, heads of enemies taken in battle, celts, which are his battle axes, and an incense burner. Take a look at the front of the stone. What color is it? Take a look at the edge. What color is that? What does this tell us about the piece and what happened to it? The front is weathered and darker than the edges. This piece was removed from something larger and cut into blocks so it could be easily transported out of a site. Now, notice the two glyph panels on the left-hand side of the monument. The top panel often contains information about the circumstances around why this monument was created, and likely the name of the city-state and ruler. The lower series of glyphs contains two dates. The first is February 23rd, 663. The second date is June 28th, 672, which marks the end of a Katun, a 7,200-day cycle. Can you hazard a guess at why this monument was created? Perhaps it was made to celebrate the reign of this ruler warrior who came into power in 663 and was still in power in 672. The Maya calendar system is extremely complex. Think of it as 3 calendar wheels. One wheel represents a 365-day solar calendar, which the Maya divided into 18 months, each 20 days long, and an additional 5-day month. Another wheel is a sacred calendar, consisting of 260 days, with 20 periods of 13 days each. The final wheel consists of 20 days, which are each given a name. The same date only comes up once every 52 years. Now, let's talk about status and power, focusing on West Mexican tomb figures. While the Maya and Aztec are two ancient civilizations that have received extensive study, other civilizations in Mesoamerica have received less scholarly attention, such as the groups that developed in western Mexico, in the present-day provinces of Jalisco, Nayarit, and Colima. Between 300 before the Common Era and 400 Common Era, distinct cultures arose in western Mexico that practiced elaborate burial traditions that featured shaft tombs. The deceased were accompanied by ceramic figures, jewelry, and elaborate ceramic vessels which held precious substances. Here are some examples of ceramic figures from these regions: a matrimonial pair featuring a ball player and a female, and elite individuals on litters accompanied by dogs. The elite in many Mesoamerican cultures practiced techniques to set themselves apart from other social classes. These included tattooing, scarification, cranial deformation, or shaping. You'll see examples of these practices depicted in these figures. Below them is a range of jewelry: a headband, a gold necklace, ear spools made of obsidian and a lip plug, and a greenstone necklace. Most valued of precious materials were greenstone, as the color mirrors water and vegetation. In these cultures, only elite individuals would be allowed to possess such items. Among the cultures of Mesoamerica, religion played an overarching role in these civilizations and impacted many aspects of life that would not normally deem to be religious. Key to religion in Mesoamerica was the need to appease the gods with blood through ritual bloodletting and human sacrifice. This large-scale ceramic figure depicts a spring fertility ritual that involves Xipe Totec, the god of agriculture, the god of spring, the flayed one. To appease the gods and ensure good harvests, victims, often war captives, were sacrificed and skinned, and their skins worn for 20 days until they rotted. Note the double lips on this figure and the large incision in the center of the chest where the heart was removed. The Spanish conquistadors and priests sought to overwrite these religious systems, destroying temples, killing priests and religious practitioners, and burning codices, written manuscripts that recorded history, astronomical observations, myth, and religion. Other indigenous religious traditions were combined with new systems in a process referred to as syncretism. Here we have Mexican masks made in the early 1900s. In Mexico, masks were not merely disguised, but mystically transform the wearer into someone or something else. They are used in ritual dances and in pageants, processions, and morality plays that chronicle the history of post-contact Mexico. This mask represents the Western concept of devil, while this mask features a vampire bat associated in the pre-Columbian world with bloodletting and the underworld. Note that the Western devil has blue eyes, while the vampire bat has brown eyes. Also, we have a mask here with a moth or butterfly body and a human head. Many traditional cultures believe that people and life around them can transform from one form to another. Could this be a way of explaining the resurrection? Our diet today draws heavily on foods that originated in the Americas. When the Old World and New World collided, the integration of these new foods into the diet began and continue to this day with one of the most recent introductions, quinoa. Think of life without tomatoes, peppers, chilies, corn, squash, pumpkins, potato, beans, maple syrup, and chocolate. Not just plants, but animals were part of this exchange. From the Old World, horses, sheep, cattle, domesticated pigs, and chicken were introduced, as the only domesticates in Mesoamerica were turkeys and dogs. You will find other objects from the Palmer collection in the World Cultures Gallery, but perhaps the greatest concentration of the collection is to be found in the Palmer case in the center of the museum. Here you can see an extraordinary assemblage of Maya grave offerings, including cylinder vases, cacao pots or chocolate pots for serving a beverage reserved for the ruling elite. They're decorated with scenes of rulers and palace life, deities, ceremonies, and often feature inscriptions with glyphs. Front and center is an assemblage of artifacts found in one tomb: a metate for grinding corn, a jade pendant, and 8 cylinder vases from an outlying Maya city. Through the Palmer collection, you can explore the extraordinary civilizations of Mesoamerica. While there are nearly 300 objects on exhibit in the museum galleries, There are over 3,000 more on the Hudson Museum's public access database. The link to the database may be found on the museum's website collection page. We invite you to explore these collections online.